right into today's session. Great. If you guys are over on Facebook, reminder, I can't see your lovely faces there, so please just say hello over in the chat. I'm doing my best to keep a track of comments over on Facebook, and Mackenzie and I are watching for notes over in the chat here on Zoom as well. All right, Bailey, doing great. Good, good. Just sold a bunch of Christmas. Just sold a bunch at a Christmas open house. Yes, congratulations. That's great. Nice. Yeah, this season I know can be such a great time for sale. I know a lot of you guys, Q4 is a really, really key piece. So yes, have all those orders, keep on coming in. I hope this is like a really, really strong Q4 for you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good. Good. Anyone else have like some wins from this holiday season that they wanted to share? I love to hear all the wins happening, hear how things are going, especially if you're doing a lot of Christmas markets and things like that. Anyone else have some good like orders come through recently that they want to share? Happy Friday Eve. Oh, Vicky, I love how you said that, Friday Eve. That's such a great way of putting it. Yes. Happy Friday Eve, indeed. Hey, Jory. Hey, Lisa. Good to see you guys over on Facebook. Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's jump on into today. Jump on into our Friday Eve session, day 4. Today we're talking about how do you overcome growth plateaus in our business, because sometimes we get to that point where things are kind of stagnant and we're kind of stuck at a certain level, and it's really hard to move past that. That for some people, we might experience this at the very beginning phases. We're like, okay, I just want to land my first store. I can't do that. For other people, you might be on your 5th store, your 10th store, your 50th, your 100th store, but being stuck at any level, regardless of where you're at, can feel a little frustrating at times, because I know you guys are in there doing the work. So today we're going to be talking about how do you overcome those growth plateaus. So we have been covering a lot this week. So we're just going to take a quick minute to recap. I know some of you guys might be joining for the very first time today. Also, quick reminder, there are replays available. If you have missed any of the sessions, there is all of the replays are up in the Facebook group. At the end of the day, you'll also get a link to catch all of the replays on one page, so you can just go in there, watch any of the replays that you've missed. I know a lot of people tuning in. This is your side business, right? This is your side business that you're working hard on to make it your full-time business. So I get that this timing might not work all the time. So throw it on as you're preparing dinner. Throw it on your morning commute. But you can definitely catch those replays to make sure that you're not missing any of these sessions. I've been getting so many messages from you guys just and the value that this has been providing for you. And that is why I do it all. I love, love, love to have this wonderful impact and share this knowledge with you guys, so that you can make the impact that I know so many of you want to make with your food and your food business. Make that impact on the industry, make that impact on your own families and your own lives. So we have been talking a lot this week about a few different key pieces of the business. So we have covered at day 1, we talked about what it really takes to build a successful food business. One of the key pieces of this that I am a broken record over, that I will always say over and over again, is your product. Your business is so much more than just your product. So we talked about that on Monday, so that we could have you step out of just having a great tasting product, having just claims that people love, having products that meet the dietary pieces, and really start to have you look at all the other aspects of your business that are going to lead to it being a success. The sales, the marketing, the finance, the operations, all of these pieces are incredibly important for the success of your business. The food is only one piece of the puzzle. It is an important piece, yes, but we need all of the other aspects of our business to be ticking and working as optimally as possible for you to have a really successful food business. Day 2, we drove into how do you have an irresistible food brand, right? Remember, people don't buy products, they buy brands. So we want to make sure that our brand truly connects with people on a deeper level and isn't just something that they can pick up for anyone. We want people to see your brand and be like, oh, yes, this is for me. That's really where we want to get at for our food business, so that you have a really strong brand. And then yesterday we dove into how do we get retailers to say yes more to your product, right? You all have fantastic products out there, I trust. And so we talked yesterday about how do we actually get retailers to see that and get them to say yes to your product versus everything else. What we talked about on Monday and Tuesday both dove into that. Remember, we can't go in with just my product tastes fantastic. Will you please take it, Mr. or Mrs. Retailer? Not going to fly. They are expecting that from everyone. So they are looking for deeper pieces. They're looking to make sure that you have a great brand that is going to go off of store shelves because they know that that's what consumers are really looking for, what they're gravitating for. And we want to be able to show our retailers how you're going to make them new money, right? How are you going to bring increased revenue to what they are doing? Because they are in the business of making money selling the food products on the store shelves. So if they're making a bet on your product, we want to make sure that it is a strong bet for them, and we need to go in and show them how they're going to make more money with the product. All right. So we've covered all of that. Today, we're going to be diving into how do you move past growth plateaus. I also shared with you guys yesterday, the Food Founder Inner Circle is accepting new members for our January start. So very excited about that. That is a 6-month program where you have access to the Food Brands That Sell course. That is your blueprint to walk you through how do you actually pitch to retailers? How do you have the financial piece down packed? How do you figure out how to build a great brand and distinguish the right marketing channels for you? Because there really is no one size fits all, right? I'm not someone who believes everybody's brand needs to be up on TikTok and just follow this one piece and you're going to go viral and you're going to sell like crazy. It's not the case. Everyone's business is different. Everyone's capabilities are different and everyone's brand is different. And that's the really key piece. We want to do, just like we talked yesterday about our sales, where we sell being aligned to our brand. It's the same with our marketing as well. That's why there is no one size fits all. There's the fundamental pieces with our operations, with our finances, all of these pieces. But then when it comes to the sales and marketing, those are more directed by your brand, actually. So the Food Brands That Sell course goes through all of that for you. That's yours forever. And then you also get to join in on our ongoing calls that we have, our live calls. So we meet 3 to 4 times a month and you get live feedback on what it is that you're working on in your business, which is incredibly valuable for people to, not just be Googling the answers to what it is that you're trying to solve. You sometimes need real feedback, right? You need real feedback. You want to see, hey, does this pitch actually work? Is this packaging actually work? I'm coming up with this challenge trying to, connect with this retailer. How am I supposed to go around this? Does this pricing work? All of these pieces that you're probably bumping around your own head. The problem with bumping them around our own head is we only have our own self to answer them. And if we don't know, we don't know, right? If we haven't been there before, it's really hard to get us the clarity and the confidence to make sure that we're taking the next best step in our business. The other beautiful benefit of the inner circle is that you could get to connect with other food founders who are in the same stages, maybe at a similar stage, maybe a step ahead or two. And so if you are faced with a problem, you're not the only one, right? There's other food businesses faced with the exact same problem or have faced that problem as well. And so you can get feedback from other people to really help you. Because you're not alone. You can have this hive mind of other people being able to help you problem solve as well. I've seen partnerships with people happen in there. Obviously, people are helping each other on an ongoing basis. And just to be able sometimes to hear, oh, okay, you might come to the call with a question for you, but then someone else asks a question and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I need to start thinking of that as well. So it's a really great way to help you fast track what it is that you are doing. We also bring in expert trainers every single month talking about different topics. Next month or next year, we have someone coming in talking about how to get your products into Whole Foods. He's a broker at Whole Foods. We have someone coming to talk about co-packing. We have someone coming to talk about how to get really great user-generated content, all sorts of different pieces so that you can consistently stay ahead of what's happening in the industry and really get some of this behind the scenes. We also do the one other piece that I really love personally is we do regular planning and review sessions, right? Now is the time of year, lots of people are thinking about their goals, thinking about what next year is going to look like. That is great. And we actually have a special session happening for everyone who is joining that program. We're doing a session next week where we are doing 2023 review, 2024 planning, but we can't just do it once a year. It's important that we do this on an ongoing basis, on a monthly basis. So each and every single month, we're reviewing what worked last month, what didn't, what are we going to change for the month ahead to make sure that you are hitting your goals and make sure that you are setting the appropriate goals to help you get there. So that is all a part of the Food Founder Inner Circle. It is open until Monday. You can go ahead and if you want to register, you can go ahead and register at foodfoundersuccess.com. Mackenzie will also throw a link in the chat for you to just go directly there as well. And then, yes, yesterday I mentioned bonus for anyone who joins before the end of the week. This week's all about action, right? This is why I do homework at the end of every session, because I want you guys to continuously take action. Having the insights is one thing, acting on it is what's going to get you the real results. So that's why I do the homework. And that's why if you join before the end of the week, I'm going to do a special bonus where I'm going to do a brand review of your label, of your packaging, and of your website so that you can have that extra tidbit of information there to really help you see how do I navigate making this really be irresistible to shoppers, be irresistible to the retailers, and figure out the different pieces that you might need to do there to really drive a greater result with people on the other end. So you can go ahead, join again. We're open till Monday. Cassie, I say you said in here, great program. Yeah, absolutely. Cassie, fantastic. You're such a lovely case study, Cassie, because you went through, and what I loved about having you in there was that you are someone, this action piece, you took action every single week and it showed up in your business results, but then it showed up in just you as a human being. I hope you don't mind me just bragging a little bit about you, Cassie, for a sec, but as a human being, I saw you just grow so much and step into that CEO role so much more, what we've been talking about, and just that confidence and all those pieces is just it makes me so happy, just how I saw you grow so much from that. And I see that from so many people inside the community as well. You became a badass. Yeah, you did become a badass. 100%. I love it. I totally agree with that. I'm so proud of you, Cassie, and everything that you have accomplished and continue to accomplish with that. So I'm actually going to call on Gail as well. Gail, I see that you are here. I'm going to actually invite Gail to just share a little bit about her experience inside the inner circle as well. For anyone that's interested and who's thinking about joining, Gail's just going to share a little bit about her experience. So Gail, you good with hopping on now?
I am.
Cool, great, awesome. Let me make it so people can see you for a sec. There we go. Cool. All right. So Gail, thanks for hopping on today.
Yes.
You've been a member of the Food Founder Inner Circle for a while now,
Yes.
and I would just love if you could just share with everyone, like, what is the value of the Food Founder Inner Circle for you, for your business? What does that look like for you?
So for me, to just give a little bit of context, I started out in the training program first, right? Like that's where I started. That's where I first met you. And I was coming into a situation where I've been in manufacturing, I've been in the food industry, I had a lot of experience in certain areas, but my partner was the one with all of the head knowledge around the retailer getting onto the shelf part of it. So you were really instrumental in kind of filling in those gaps of things that I needed to know, and I needed to know them quickly. Like I had opportunities on the table, it was time to take action, and I didn't have time for a lot of learning curve fails. So you were really instrumental in that. And then at that point, I knew I could trust you because you knew what you were talking about and your content was valuable. So when it came time to looking at the inner circle, I felt like that was kind of the next logical step. I didn't want to lose that connection. I wanted to stay in this group because I feel like I get a lot of value from these conversations that we have and from the knowledge base. And just even though we can all be experts in certain areas, I think it's really helpful to have this network of people that we can talk to and kind of run ideas off of and so that's one of the reasons why I joined. That's one of the things that I've really gotten out of it is that chance to really talk through challenges that come up and come up with good ideas. I got to give you some credit on something. So when I first was joined the inner circle, I was struggling with a situation with Albertsons because I had a product that we really wanted to get into Albertsons. It was there was a lot of reasons for that. And my product wasn't quite ready. It wasn't even a real product yet. And you're the one that kind of helped coach me through that. Like, this is what I would do. And you were talking through it and it inspired ideas. And I picked up the phone and we're in Albertsons. We're #1 seller in our category now, 6 months later. So I really feel like there's a lot of value in that. None of us know everything. We don't know what we don't know. And being in these conversations kind of exposes those things like, okay. And it's little things, it's little tweaks. Sometimes it's as simple as pick up the phone and call them, Gail. but other times it's more about this is how you really be prepared for those conversations. This is how you prepare to go into that. So I think it's invaluable.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, I'll take a little bit of credit, but you did the work, right? Again, I can share the information. You're the one who comes in and does the work. So I can only share so much. So it's, I find the Food Founder Inner Circle is really great for people like you and like Cassie and Julie. I see her on here too, like action takers who are going to take the information and like roll with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the calls that are a big piece of it. And then we also have the food brands that sell course that's a part of it. Can you share, has that course been valuable to you? How have you kind of accessed that to help you as you navigate getting brands in store? What has that course done for you and how has that helped you?
So I think it helped me fill in those gaps because I had some knowledge gaps because I had trusted my partner. She was no longer, she got sick and she couldn't help anymore. And I couldn't go to her anymore and say, hey, how did you do this? What were those steps? And there's a lot of moving parts to getting your product to market. And so I'm really, really solid on manufacturing and all that kind of thing and building this beautiful product. It's a whole other thing going into the retail stores, which now I feel like I'm fine. Like I know how to do it now because you helped me. But it was about, I can go to that as a resource. I go to that resource all the time, even today, and pull in like, how did she say to do that? And what was that thing? And you just get ideas and strategies. And, oh, I remember that's the best practice I want to follow and make sure all my checklists are in order. And I use it for even being able to tell my team what to do. I'll say like, this is the checklist. This is what you do. So I think the information is valuable and I still refer to it all the time, just at different stages. When I first started, I did start at the beginning and go through it all because I wanted to, like I said, I was trying to figure out what I didn't know versus what I knew that I could rely on. Like how much of this knowledge that I have is actually still relevant and how much of this is I need to update my my strategies, my tools. And so I started there, did the whole thing, went through it all, and now I use it more as a resource.
Yeah.
Oh, what can I do here to make this better? Because I'm always, working with new markets and new categories and new retailer relationships.
Right.
So I use it all the time.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like being able to come back to something, right? I'm the type of person who, when I go through a program, I do the exact same thing. I'm like, let me go through it all, and then I want to reference back because heck, you wear so many hats in your business, right? And life, like you're just wearing so many hats. It's nice to know that you have like a resource center for everything.
Right.
Yeah. And then for anyone who is thinking of joining the inner circle, who's on here today, I know this is how like you first got introduced to the inner circle. What advice would you have for anyone who's kind of thinking about it, maybe on the fence, maybe not sure if it's for them? What advice would you have for them?
I think if someone kind of feels like a little bit like they're on an island in their business where they're having a lot of decisions to make, the buck stops with them, they're responsible for this. Maybe if someone feels like they have opportunities in their business that they're not fully leveraging, what are those opportunities costing? What is that time costing? If that's kind of where you're at, I feel like the inner circle is a good fit because it's going to give you real-time access to help. Like there's the community chat where we can ask each other questions, we can get feedback. I think it helps, number one, help you focus. Like these are the things that are really going to move the needle in my business. And if someone is really wondering if it's for them, that's how it was for me. I felt like I was a little bit on an island. I felt like I was a little bit out here and I'm having to figure these things out. And I don't really have the time and the money to waste to make mistakes. And so it makes all the difference in the world if you are part of this group or you have people that are at a similar stage in their business and you can bounce ideas off and get questions answered and talk about resources and who did you use for that and what did you do about that. And I just think it's extremely valuable to help you basically make decisions and help kind of focus in on what's important because it gets very noisy running a business in the food industry. There's a lot of moving parts to this thing. So
many moving parts. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Thank
I
you.
feel like if you're needing more focus and if you feel like there's opportunities in your business that you're not leveraging, I think then you need to be in this group. That's my opinion.
Awesome. No, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Gail. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your feedback there. And, what I love is this community that we have in there. Everyone really helps each other out. You are so instrumental in that as well with helping everybody. And it's like such a great piece. It's a community. Like you said, if you're feeling like you're on an island, you really don't need to be. We can like come together and figure it out with other people. And it makes it not only a lot easier, but maybe more fun along the way too. You can fast track things, you can save money along the way. It's a great place to just move your business ahead further faster. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Good. I saw Cassie also shared here. What did Cassie say here? Cassie, help me figure out my focus and avatar. Yes. Also help figure out what I didn't want to focus on. Yeah. Sometimes that's a really key piece, right? Like, what should we focus on? What shouldn't we focus on? Kind of what Gail was saying there as well. We need to know what to focus on. There's so many moving parts in this business. Sometimes something might need our focus, but not right now, right? Sometimes there's something more pressing that actually needs our attention. I was speaking with someone yesterday who was wanting to do a rebrand, and I was like, that's not what's going to drive the most sales for you right now. Let's focus on other pieces right now. You might want to do that. Your brand is beautiful right now. There's pieces we can tweak. Let's focus on getting you some sales first, right? So that is what I'm constantly driving for you guys. How do we get more sales? Julie shared, help me figure out where I was lacking and things I needed to look at and work on. Yeah, 100%. It's like, again, we don't know what we don't know, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Cassie, Julie, Gail, for sharing your experiences here. So yeah, it makes a huge difference to have that support and just know those blind spots that we might have in our business, right? I'm just taking a look at the chat here. The e-commerce store review, generic, not tied to Shopify, correct? Yeah, correct. So if you do join by the end of the week, there is that brand review and website review. Does not matter where your website is built. I'm going to be looking at it from two eyes. I'm going to be looking at it from the consumer's eyes and with my brand expert hat on. So I'm going to be looking at it with both lenses, going through, finding ways that you can make sure that you are optimizing sales on your website and making sure that your brand is really shining through. So whether you're using Wix, WooCommerce, Shopify, whatever it may be, happy to take a look at your site and be able to give you that direct feedback to help you optimize that, to make sure your brand is coming through and make sure that you are driving sales from it. Sometimes we have beautiful sites, but they're not optimized for sales. And so I want to make sure that they do the part, which is driving sales, and they look great, right? So absolutely, that will be a big piece. Will there be support for making it better? Yeah, inside the inner circle, that's definitely something we can look at. You can bring that to our calls. You'll definitely have, like, from the audit, you'll have, okay, what do you need to do to actually fix it? That's absolutely all in there to make sure that you can fix the pieces. I also have like platforms that I typically will recommend in there. Everyone can do whatever that they want, but I always have some different tools that I might recommend. So if you're built on a platform and I'm like, actually, I think you're going to get way more value out of this other platform, I'll share that with you, help you get set up on that. I think I know we've definitely had a lot of people refer other like designers and pieces like that inside the community. There's definitely, if you're like, hey, I need a new website build, there's people in there that can refer you to someone who's helped them build their beautiful website. Absolutely. And can definitely walk you through that to make sure that it is looking great and selling your product. So 100%, 100%. Do people use WooCommerce for food business? Some people do. I personally recommend Shopify. Shopify is great for e-commerce, so easy on the back end, but people use WooCommerce depending on the product specifically. It's really great for SEO. So depending on your product, that might be applicable. If we're selling a spice blend, not as applicable for SEO. If we have, I was just speaking with someone who has like a very clean label infant formula, like that type of product, well, you need SEO for that a lot more than just a generic spice brand. So depending on your goals, on your brand, on your product, there will be different pieces that we want to go forward with. So yes, if you guys want to join the inner circle, you can go to foodfoundersuccess.com. The link is available in the chat as well that Mackenzie can share out with you. And yes, we do have that bonus for the end of the week if you do join. So let's jump into today's session. We are talking about overcoming growth plateaus. And the reason why I invited Gail on to speak today, and Cassie, Julie, thanks for popping in there as well, is because as we talk about overcoming growth plateaus, it comes to a few different things. A lot of it is taking the leap to step into sometimes like a new territory and be committed to figuring out the pieces that we don't know, right? If you are in 100 stores right now, the information that you have had will get you, it's gotten you to 100 stores. That's great. If you want to get to 1,000 stores and you're stuck doing 100 store strategies, sometimes that's going to prevent us from getting there because we need to take different actions to get different results, right? If we are at the 5-store piece and we want to get to our first 100 stores, what's gotten us here sometimes won't get us to where we need to go. So we need to do things differently, right? We need to make the decision to do things differently to actually get different results. If you are knocking on store doors over and over and over and over again, not getting the yeses that you want to hear, and then you keep doing that over and over and over again, something's not working. You're not going to get a different result because you're not actually changing the input. We need to change the input sometimes to get us a different output. Sometimes it's a matter of scaling, right? Sometimes that could be the piece. If you're running Facebook ads right now and you're only getting so many results. Sometimes, if everything looks great, it's just a matter of stepping into maybe investing more in Facebook ads. But even that itself requires a different behavior from you. And that can be really scary sometimes, to step into that next version. I like to use this term. Someone actually created this term like way long ago. Is someone that I used to work with. And she used to just ask herself, if I wasn't there, she would say, what would Ainsley do? Like that was like her little mantra at one point. And so I have taken that and made it, what would future you do? Because we want to gain the knowledge ourselves to be able to go out and make the impact that we want to make in our business, in our lives. We really want to become the badass that is within us, like as Kathy said, happened to her. And that comes from stepping into that future version of yourself. What would the future you do behind this? And a lot of times that comes with discomfort because you haven't done it before. And that discomfort can oftentimes, not oftentimes, pretty much always keeps us exactly where we are, keeps us in the exact same place we are right now, right? If I hate going out to sell at events, but I'm committed to go and sell at events, I need to find a way to change how I interact at events so that maybe I can enjoy it more, maybe I can get better results, right? So we need to step into doing uncomfortable things. We need to step into this future version of ourselves to get different results. So asking yourself this, it really comes down to two pieces. It's like starting with the end in mind, really knowing where you want to go with your business. Where do you want to be this time next year? Right? Like, how many stores do you want to be in? What do you want your business to look like? What do you want your life to look like? How do you want your time to be set up? And then working backwards from there to figure out, okay, what are the different things that need to happen for that? And then start to make decisions from that place of what would that person who is, let's say you're in 10 stores right now, you want to be in 100. What would the person who's in 100 stores, what would they do? How would they pitch stores? How would they find the right stores? How would they email communicate? How would they manage their time? How would they operate their team? Would it just be themselves? What would that person be doing? And the sooner we can actually step into that person and taking those actions, the faster you can actually get those results. I use this example because someone said it to me once and it really stuck. It was very clear, and it is very clear in terms of so many times we wait for that end result until we take the leap to make the decision to change, to take a different action, to go about things differently. And that is like the same as being like, okay, I am going to, invest in a personal trainer when I am, already, if you want to lose 10 pounds, great. After I've lost 10 pounds, then I'm going to get a personal trainer. And you could do that, but you could probably get to that goal faster if you just hire the person earlier to help you get there, right? But in your mind, you have this, well, once I reach this point, then I will do this. And instead, we want to take the action of the person who already has that result so that we can get that result faster, right? Might still get the result, but it just might take you a lot more time. And sometimes we sometimes won't get that result because we haven't stepped into that person who's going to achieve it. So I really want you guys to think about, what are those goals that you do have for your business, for your life? We're running a business for our personal reasons, right? Our personal life. You could choose to do anything with your time. You could be working for someone else. You could be selling, I don't know, notebooks. You could be doing all sorts of things. You have chosen to create your food business for a specific reason. And so how do you really make that as big as possible? And we talked earlier this week as well about, one of the reasons why I'm so committed to this I'm committing helping food founders is because there's two folds. Number one, I believe that emerging food brands, like all of you guys, you are making the food industry a better one. You make it a better one. You care about people. You care about the products out there. You are personally invested in what you are putting out there, which has this beautiful trickle effect into everyone who gets to consume your product. And that is really, really profound. So there's that piece. And then it's just like you literally get to be in charge of your life a lot more. You are creating your own future, which is incredible. And so I know I speak with a lot of people who are like, I don't like my full-time job. Like, I hate my full-time job. I don't want to be here. And so we want to get you to a point that if you don't love that, we can have you working on your business more to help that grow so that you can have that time in your business. And a lot of people, you want to have that time so you can spend more time with your family, so you can have a greater impact on the world, right? So the bigger you make your business, and we talked about this earlier this week, it's like, it's almost selfish to keep your business small if you've got a really great product, right? And if you want to make a great impact in your life and the lives of your loved ones and on the community and on the food industry, it is the most selfless thing to do to make your business as large as possible. And we want to do that by stepping into that future version of ourselves. What would future you do to make that happen? So that mindset shift is a huge, huge piece to be able to help you overcome growth plateaus. We hit our growth plateaus because we've maybe stopped learning. We have not figured out how to get around this one boulder that's maybe in front of us, but we keep like running into the boulder, running into the boulder, running out into the boulder, instead of figuring out how to go over it, how to go beside it, you know, maybe how to use a lever to like pull it up or something, but there's other ways around it. But sometimes we can't see that just using the same tools that are in our tool belt right now. And then the other piece that I really see really every week from different food brands that I speak with, or they be in different communities, on calls, whatever it may be, is this adopting this mindset of playing to win in your business. I speak with food founders every week, and there's a lot of times there's like two different types of food founders. There's one which I call our just for now food founder. And this is, well, this is okay just for now, right? It's like you don't actually feel super confident about any aspect of your business, but it's okay just for now. Maybe it's the pricing, but that's not really set up to get you to scale to where you really want to go. Maybe it's your packaging. I see this a lot of packaging or branding, messaging, or product itself even. Well, I really want to have it meet this criteria, but I can't right now. So this is okay just for now. But the problem with having a just for now mentality with our business is we're actually losing out on that opportunity in the long run. And I use the example of, let's say, just for now branding, just for now packaging. You have a package that you're like, this is okay just for now, but I can't wait to change it, or I'm going to change it once I reach this point, right? The problem with that is you're going into retailers to try to sell this just for now packaging, and the retailers don't have confidence in it. So they're like, it might be a great product, but I'm not necessarily going to put that on my store shelves because I don't have confidence it's going to move, right? Because they also see it as just for now. They're not like, wow, I am so dang proud to put this on my store shelves. I know my consumers are really going to gravitate towards this. They're really going to pull it. And then on the consumer side, let's say you convince the retailer to put it on store shelves. The consumer doesn't also have that confidence. And so they walk right past your brand. They don't see that it is for them. And then you're missing out on those sales. So by having this just for now mentality of, oh, I'll fix this down the road, you're actually delaying your process, because retailers, you're going to hear no a lot more from retailers because they don't see that your brand is ready yet, because you're basically saying, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready, but once I am ready, then I'll upgrade it, right? So you're getting no a lot more from retailers. So you're not going to have the sales. Someone else is going to get that shelf space. And then same thing with the consumer perspective. You're missing out on those sales from that consumer. Your product is going to move slower because we haven't figured out those pieces. Maybe they're not connecting with it. So they're walking right by it, or they're going to pick up a competitor, and then maybe they become loyal to that competitor, right? So our just for now mentality sometimes makes us feel like it is the right decision for right now, but it sometimes hampers our long-term success of what we are really trying to do. Does that make sense for you guys? Throw it in the comments if that's making sense with you. On the flip side, I speak with a lot of people who also have this play to win mentality, right? This, I am going to do what it takes to make this business work, right? I am going to figure out the pricing right now to get my business where I want it to go. I'm going to figure out the packaging piece right now to get my business where I want it to go. I'm in this to win it. This is like you have this conviction behind what you're doing, and you're really playing to win, and you're investing in it from a time, money, and energy perspective to really have your big vision of it come to life, right? And this playing to win is a mentality, but it's loaded with so much action behind it as well. There is this, I know this is going to win, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm going to get the knowledge that I need, and then I'm going to go and act on it and make it happen, right? And that playing to win mentality has a huge, huge difference when it comes to the long-term success of our business, heck, the immediate success of our business, right? If we go in with a product and we have a more of a just for now mentality, retailers can pick that up, consumers are going to pick that up, our co-packers, our distributors, our brokers, they're going to pick that up. Versus playing to win, everyone takes you a little bit more seriously. It's funny, I was speaking with someone the other day, someone that I work with privately, and she was saying that, you know, before she was reaching out to retail or to ingredient suppliers to even get quotes. And she was reaching out to manufacturing partners to get quotes, and like was getting crickets. And then once we started to refine her brand, once we started to refine all of that, define her offering, have her step into a part that she was really afraid of, is like, shoot, am I really going to do this? Okay, I'm going to do this. And she was full on with conviction. All of a sudden, she started showing up with this level of sophistication, and she was reaching out in a more sophisticated way, really playing to win, making sure she had the right tools, the right language, all the pieces to show up like a pro. She was not only getting like replies back to people, but like people were like, yes, let me help you with this. Oh, I'm actually going to connect you in with this person too, because she showed up differently. She showed up differently with this different level of conviction and also this level of sophistication, right? Yesterday, we talked a little bit about when we're working with our retailers, we want them to have confidence that you know what you're doing. Even if you really don't, we need to make them feel like you know what it's going to take to operate in there and have all the and then be able to obviously 100% deliver. But we need to be able to communicate that with them, or they're hesitant to work with you. They've got a million other things that they're working on, right? And so that's the same thing when you're trying to get co-packers on board, when you're trying to work with distributors, with brokers. They want to work with serious brands, and there's a lot of brands out there. So we really want to take on this playing to win mentality across everything that we do. And it honestly just makes your life a lot smoother. And it can be a big shift for people mentally to get there, but it makes such a huge, huge difference. And so today, as we're talking about growth plateaus, I hope you can see that really one of the biggest pieces that comes with reaching a point of stagnation is us not stepping into a different version of ourselves, us not taking the leap, us not having complete conviction, us not being willing to do things differently than how we have done them. We want a different result. We need to do things differently. So if we are hitting a growth plateau, we need to take a step back, And we need to see, what am I doing that's maybe hurting me from getting the results that I want? What can I do to show up differently as that future food founder and play to win to really get me those results that I want? And when we do that, we have such a huge, huge different impact, right? So for some people, it's like literally overnight. Other people, it's months, right? But it's, I like to look at the mind. If you know, if you've been in the inner circle, you've worked with me individually, you know that I really do look at our mind as one of our biggest tools that we have. And I look at it like, if you've been doing the same way of operating over and over and over again for months, for years, sometimes for decades, this might just be in operating how you operate in life. It's going to take time to override that, right? If you're constantly going the same way over and over and over again, and then you start to go a little bit of different way, that's going to take time. It's going to take time to forge that path. But when you consistently do it, then that becomes the default eventually. And then eventually that is the way that you always go. And that is going to get you a different result, right? Let me just check in here in the comments here. What is the fastest any of your very motivated founders took brand from start to store shelf? Great question. So I worked with someone who came to me with an idea. He had, actually, I was talking about him earlier this week. He came to me with an idea of like a protein type cereal, came to me on the calls being like, tell me if I'm crazy or not with doing this. He didn't have any experience in the food industry at all. And within 3.5 months, he had pallet of product already set, like delivered to him. And we had already pre-sold the product into some supplement stores. So he did it that quickly. Not everyone is that quick, I will say. It takes time, especially depending how you're going to go to market. If you need a co-packer to do this, if you don't have the distribution set up, he had a play to win mentality, right? He was ready to do it. He was ready to invest the money into making that happen. He had the energy to invest the time in it. He was a sponge with absorbing everything, and he was an executor. So you really also have to know yourself, and you're like, am I that type of person? Some people are. I've worked with other people. It doesn't take them, it takes them longer than that, but they get there, and they get there in a way. Everyone also has different life circumstances, right? If you're running 2 jobs and this is your side piece and you've never run a business before, assuming that you're going to have an absolute winning product in 3 months sold into stores, if you've never sold into a store before, if you've never sold before, that might be a challenge, right? But that is why in the Food Founder Inner Circle, you have that course, you have the Food Brands That Sell course that literally walks you through step by step by step how to make sure you have a product that's going to sell. How do you make sure that you have a brand is going to connect with people? How do you go and sell it into stores? How do you make sure that you have the financials down packed? So this is a financially viable business. And then you have those calls ongoingly as well to make sure that you're not just in it alone, right? Make sure that if you're like, okay, no, this is my goal, this is what I want to figure out, I want to get into stores in this time period, great, we can work backwards. And I'll tell you, okay, if that's what you want to be, this is what, boom, 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 this is what we're going to need to do. And then you can say, okay, that's possible, and I'm willing to do that. Or maybe it's not possible, but like maybe I can tweak this piece. So it all depends on the founder at the end of the day, right? That is the hugest piece. And then I did also want to share on that line too, anyone who joins the Food Founder Inner Circle, we are doing next week, we are doing our 2023 review and 2024 planning session. So that is, you get a free ticket to that. We're going to be diving into making sure that you're fully set up for a really, really strong 2024. And then if you're inside the Inner Circle, then that helps guide us for those monthly sessions where we're working on your goals to be like, okay, if this is your big goal for the year, we're breaking this down month by month, week by week to make sure that you're taking the necessary actions to make that possible. Because you guys all know there's 100 things that you could be working on, and it's really easy sometimes to get distracted by shiny objects. It's really easy to get distracted and just caught up in the fires that happen in our business. and then lose sight on the bigger pieces that really take us to where we want to go. So that's why that is so, so key. Any founders who are out of NA and sell into NA, let me know what country code that is. And sell into USA. Sorry for my ignorance here. And sell into the USA. The majority of the people in the program, they're in Canada and the US. Like everyone in there right now. Oh, North America. Yeah. Everyone's in North America who's in the program. So Canada and US based. We talk about both markets. So yes, regardless of where you are in that, that is where everyone is really focused in on. It's applicable to be, I've had people go through the course that are in other regions as well. Me personally, I've sold into Canada, I've sold into the US, so I can speak best to that. But I've had people take it from Australia. We've had people take it from Pakistan. We've had people take it from Great Britain. So all over who have gone through. Again, one of the pieces that I always teach is principles, right? Teaching you the principles that you can take and apply to your business. And that those principles are the same in food and beverage markets. We're talking about the principles of people. We're talking about the principles of how the food industry works, of how to sell into retailers, all of those pieces. We might not have the same knowledge of a specific retailer in a specific region, but any of those areas is the same principles that do make sense for it. So again, if you do want to join the Food Founder Inner Circle, we'd love to see you guys in there. It's a great extension from this week. This week is like, we're sharing lots of info. You're getting lots of great pieces. You're taking action. I love seeing all the action you guys are taking. Oh, which reminds me, we haven't done the giveaway, which we'll do in a sec. You guys can continue with that action on an ongoing basis and not let that fire kind of burn out, and have it continue for 6 months together inside the inner circle, where you have these ongoing sessions on your calendar. You know that you have a group to show up to. You have the support system there. You have a group to get feedback from. And then you also have that 24/7 portal as well, that you can ask questions any time of day. Anything that you guys are working on, you can get feedback on, so that you're not trying to figure it out alone. You know, number one, being left in the dark, not even knowing what you don't know. Or number two, Googling, questioning if you're getting the right Google answer, listening to a ton of podcasts, trying to search for everything on YouTube, and just spreading yourself all over trying to get the information. Instead, you can have one place that you can come to get everything that you need to know. And you have a resource center where you can come to get ongoing feedback, and you can stop wasting your time trying to figure everything out all alone, and instead fast track that success in that. So it's a 6-month program. You're going to get hands-on support for those full 6 months. You get the Food Brands That Sell course, which is yours forever. So you can access it anytime. As Gail said, this is, she went through it all, and then she comes back in and pops in when she needs different information. So that's yours forever to be able to go into. And then the Food Founder Inner Circle for 6 months, we're going to be hanging out on a regular basis. And I get to dig into your business and help you reach those goals that you have. So we're open until Monday. You can go to foodfoundersuccess.com. And again, we do have that bonus if you join before the end of the week, where I'm going to review your website and your brand and provide you some specific feedback on that to help you in your business. So we did not do the giveaway. So I'm going to do real quick. We're going to do the giveaway, and I'll let you guys go. And then tomorrow's session, we're going to be diving into the most costly mistakes that I see food founders make in their business. And we're going to be diving into what those mistakes are, and then more importantly, how you can overcome them, right? This can be a really expensive industry to make mistakes in, as a lot of you guys may know. So I want to walk you through, how do you avoid a lot of those mistakes, so that you can not waste your time, money, and energy on them, and instead move your business further, faster, and get those great results that you're looking for. So let me share my screen real quick. We had some great responses to the homework question yesterday. I was asking, how do you make more money? How are you going to show retailers that you're going to make more money for them inside of their stores? And there was some really great feedback here. What do we have? Vicky shared that her beverages are handcrafted, gluten-free, vegan. We had Alexander, I love what you said here, seed oil free. And the fact that you talked about the fact that more people are looking for oil-free solutions because it causes inflammation. So you can come into Mr. or Mrs. Retailer and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Retailer, I have a seed oil-free solution because I know that X number of consumers are looking to avoid this because they know it causes inflammation. Here's a solution for you, right? Simone says that her product meets different dietary needs and is affordable. So lots of great pieces in there. If you haven't had a chance to answer the homework question, definitely go ahead and add that in there and just note it in your notebook, right? That's the most important piece is, are you taking note of this? How are you going to make stores new money? Because that's how you're going to sell in your product. So let me share our screen here. All right. And okay, today we're going to give away, I've got a database of brokers and distributors, and I'm going to be giving it away for today's giveaway because as we talk about sometimes being stuck at certain points, sometimes we need external people to help us there, right? Whether that could be a broker, that could be a distributor, could be a co-packer, it could be joining the inner circle, it could be all of these different pieces, but sometimes we need external support to help us grow. So for one lucky winner, you're going to get this database of vetted brokers and distributors within North America or Canada, depending on where you are. We'll make sure you get the right one. So Alexander, congratulations. Congratulations, Alexander. That's great. Alexander, I know that you messaged me too, and you're like, Ainsley, I didn't see the homework thread. Guys, I'm like in DMs with everyone who is in here, answering any questions that you have about what we're covering this week, answering any questions that you have about the inner circle. You know, if you're having tech issues with something, like I'm in there DMing with you. So if you haven't seen a message from me in there and you have a question, it might be a friend request. You might need to like friend request accept me. And then, you know, then we can be in DM together. So definitely, you know, feel free to ask any questions that you have in there. I am here this week to help support you guys growing your business. And as you can tell, this is kind of different than a lot of other pieces out there. It's very personable. I'm here to really help you guys get support. I want to help you guys in all the different ways possible. So do not be shy, absolutely, for that at all. Okay, that is it, guys. Tomorrow we are diving into how to avoid costly mistakes in our food business. I will see you there, same time, same place. And tomorrow will be day 5. Oh my gosh, this week has gone by very, very quickly. So I will, tomorrow we're going to be talking about that day 5. It'll be our final session of the week and can't wait to hang out with you guys same time, same place tomorrow. I'll see you then.